January 1st, 1868, a 21-gun salute was fired by a fleet led by British and US warships, just outside the small portside town of Kobe. While Western officials celebrated on their ships, seeing this as a better foothold to expand their power in Japan, the residents of Kobe faced something far more uncertain. Some were worried about sharing their land with foreign merchants and officials. Some believed those Westerners would eat their children. Others, however, saw a completely new opportunity, one that would eventually turn this small portside town into one of the most open, fashionable, and prosperous cities in Asia. Facing powerful warships and growing trade demands from Western countries, Japan's ruler at the time, the Tokugawa Sultanate, wanted as little interaction as possible between Japanese people and the outside world, in order to keep its power secure. While unable to militarily oppose the Western powers, the Sultanate's key strategy was to delay and isolate. That's why the first two ports open to Western ships were Shimoda and Hakodate, one isolated by the forests and mountains of the Izu Peninsula, the other one on the cold, remote coastline of Hokkaido. But it didn't take long before the Western powers demanded more. The Treaty of Amity and Commerce in 1858 required more locations to be opened to Western ships, including the port of Hyogo, one of the most prosperous ports connecting Kyoto and Osaka, overlooking the trade routes of the Seto Inland Sea and the resource of Shikoku. While the Sultanate had few cards left to play, it still did what they could to impose some degree of isolation. Separated by the Minato River, it treated the fishing port of Kobe as part of the Hyogo port, opening for foreigners, while the original city of Hyogo on the western side of the river continued to be used mainly by Japanese residents. Although the two ports were combined into the port of Kobe in 1892, the development of Kobe under direct Western influence had already begun. Western residents gradually moved beyond the designated coastal areas and onto the hills below Mount Loko. There, they began to interact more closely with local people, hiring them for work, receiving their services, and sometimes forming friendships or even marriages. While Kobe is now known as a place of openness and modernity, its name actually came from a secret story. It was originally called Kanbe in ancient time, meaning the serving households of a shrine, or the people assigned to support and protect a shrine. In Kobe's case, this referred to Ikuta Shrine in central Kobe, a shrine with more than 1,800 years of history. But since the 19th century, Kobe also began to protect another kind of sacred treasure, one not less important to modern Japan than the shrine itself: a gate connecting a once closed Japan to a more industrialized, outward-facing, and fiercely competitive West. Kobe gradually became a multicultural city. Foreign consuls, merchants, and trading companies officials built homes around the hills of Kitano, and around them came new tastes, new sports, and new sounds. Western-style clothing, meat-based cuisine, golf, and later jazz. A 10-minute walk to the south was Nankinmachi, where Chinese immigrants and merchants gathered for a taste of home, while also staying close to the busy port, full of people and communities from around the world.